What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Youngie back here. Today is a sad day because I have to be honest with you. The Graveyard of Empires it's garbage, dude. The Graveyard of DLCs, okay? I'm tired. I'm sure a lot of the community is tired of absolutely glazing all the Hearts of Iron 4 DLCs that have came out. You know, all we see is the big YouTubers. No offense to them. I love them all. Bo Cohen, Tommy K. I mean, Dacus me because he's the GOAT. He hasn't said anything about it yet. But they all just glaze every single DLC that comes out because they are paid by Paradox, and there's other YouTubers too. And they get it for free, and they put out content. And they're like, oh yeah, everyone get this. But through the eyes of like an average gamer, and keep in mind, I have like 2,500 hours of Hearts of Iron 4. I'm a seasoned pro veteran, I would say. And for the average player, this DLC is a complete waste of $15 and completely underwhelming. But not only that, it's rushed and it's unfun. So let me give you my first POV. So we're here in the Middle East. Guess what? This DLC adds 5 new nations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are actually here in the base game now too. So let's say you don't have this DLC. These are here. This is my main grimace. Why are we adding in 5 new nations that do nothing? Okay, like, yeah, historically all these guys were their own nations, had their own governors and whatnot. But guess what? So did Egypt. Egypt was probably one of the most major one out of every one of these nations in the Middle East. Probably more than Turkey as well. And they're still part of the United Kingdom. Makes no sense. But that's not even the main thing. Let's go to the Iraq focus tree real quick. Let me just switch over to Iraq. So if we're in Iraq here, guess what? You can go down this line and you can get a lot of cores and it can be fun. But guess what? You can propose Syrian unification and all of this right here. You can get every single one of these new nations except for Lebanon and Kuwait. It's like, why are we adding in these 2 new countries if we can't even get it through the Iraqi focus tree? You have to declare war on the major allies. Like, I can see us having Palestine and Jordan makes sense, okay? But instead, why don't we have Syria and freaking Lebanon grouped together? There's not a single port in this nation, so they can't trade, they can't do anything. Syria starts with, let's see, they start with 1 civilian factory, I believe. If I can go to their industry. No, they start with nothing. And then we have Jordan that starts with 1 civilian factory, but again, does not have a port, so you cannot trade. And Palestine does not have a port right here, or Israel, both of them, but it's called Palestine in this game. It doesn't have a port right here, so you can't even trade. It makes no sense on why Paradox added these 5 new useless nations that have no significance to this game whatsoever. I have yet to see a game where they make a unit, okay? So that's the main thing. I'm just like, are you kidding me? It doesn't make sense through the Iraqi focus tree either, because it's the only one that gets a claim on any of it. Like, literally. And you only get a claim on Syria, Jordan, and Palestine through your focus tree. Like, you have to declare war on Lebanon. You have to declare war on Kuwait. So you're going to be at war with the major allies. Which leads me to the next grimace that everyone has. Is the Iranian. Like any nation, actually. So my first nation I played was Iran. Because I'm like, okay, guess what? They're the biggest nation. They had lore in World War II. They got invaded by the Soviets and Allies in 1942. I'm like, I'm going to play them. I'm going to try and restore the Persian Empire, take over Greece, take over Turkey, and all that. And guess what, dude? It took me until about 1942, because this is what happened. I invaded Afghanistan, bro. And invading Afghanistan is terrible, because they start out with these nations. Look at this nation. Look at this troop, dude. It's fully equipped with this. There's tanks in it at all. It's like, why do they have this? This makes no sense for them to have whatsoever. Not to mention, look at their infrastructure. Zero infrastructure. And then I think, zero infrastructure. There's these, cities, or not cities, but states with no infrastructure. And your troops can't move. You have to build that up, and it takes forever. By the time you're up and going as any 3 of these nations, it's 1941. You maybe invaded Afghanistan, Iraq, and Iran as one of these 3 nations. That's the only ones you can invade. And then guess what? It's time to go to war with a major power. But guess what? You don't have a navy. You don't have an air force. You have no industry. You will probably have at most maybe like 20 available civilian factories that are building, and maybe like 30 mills by the time you go to war with a major ally. Okay, and guess what? As Iran, you get the most of this. Okay, I'm just rambling right here, but I mean, it's a very well disturbed ramble, I believe. Anyways, I mean, I don't need it. Okay, so this is what you go, okay? You go down, you know, I'm going to go down here. I'm going to go down Legacy of Greatness. We're going to restore the Persian Empire, okay? So you get all these right here. So you're going to demand the Iraqi territory. It's like a 50-50 chance to give it over to you, okay? And then I'm going to demand Afghan territory. And the only one you can invade without getting cucked by the Allies right away is Afghanistan. Guess what? Those take the longest to invade. Like, it's going to be a year because A, no movement speed, B, no supplies, and C, the Afghanistan somehow have like an army of 300,000 when you invade that is literally does nothing but sit in the mountains. So it's like, actually, I feel like an American soldier in fucking Afghanistan, bro, and they show up out of nowhere. You know, it's like, oh my god. But not to mention, you go down this, and all of this is war with the majors. And guess what? I'm Iran. I'm stuck here. Guess what? You can ally with the Axis and get a little puppet on the Soviet Union. By the time you finish invading, like my puppet, I had some Sevastopol, Stalingrad, all the way to like Xinjiang over here. That was my puppet. It wasn't strong enough. It was 1945, and I finally got to Bulgaria and like Romania, and then I'm facing like 700 German, Italian, Hungarian, and Romanian divisions. It's just not fun. I have no tungsten whatsoever, not tungsten, no aluminum. I can't build an air force. The Allies have no aluminum. Everyone's on closed eco. I can't do anything. It's literally just a stalemate. It was so bad. But like, if you go Iran, and let's say you go the fascist route, because that's the most realistic one, because guess what? You're going to be going to war with the Allies to try to get your Middle East claim. If you're trying to go for that achievement, you're going to do this, and guess what? You're going to go look to the West or go with Japan, either or, they work. But then it's either, okay, well, are we going to invade Iraq and go to war with Britain because they have a guarantee? Except they lose that guarantee as soon as they go fascist, but then the British invade, so you can't even invade Iraq. Like, Iraq insta-joins the Axis, or you invade them while they're in the Allies. There's no in between on historical, and it's so bad. You're so reliant on the RNG for everything. But then you're like, okay, well, I'm just going to go through Turkey right here and try to push through and get Greece. Maybe I can get that achievement. Yeah, good luck, bro. You have 3 states. I built up a supply hub and a mini air force, and you still can't push shit here because guess what? Turkey has, why can't I spectate? Spectator. I want to switch over to Turkey here. Come on. You go to Turkey, and guess what? They have 31 divisions starting. And when you have 31 Turkish divisions, and by the way, you can't go to war until like middle of 1938. These mountains are a dead thing. You have to go through so many hills and mountains provinces with no supplies whatsoever. Your nearest supply hub is this one and this one. And guess what? It takes a shit ton to go through here. Because as soon as you get to these mountains, guess what? You can only attack from 2 tiles. You can only attack from 2 tiles on these mountain tiles. It's impossible, dude. Okay, they don't make you strong enough whatsoever, and I know they're not supposed to be strong, but guess what? You're getting cucked. You're getting, like that first thing I posted, you're getting cucked by RNG so bad. But I mean, I did see some valid things, but like, so I posted a poll on my YouTube a couple days ago. It got 16 votes, and 31% of people said the DLC is good. 69, nice, said it was bad. And I like this comment someone posted. Kemper posted, I like the content because it adds variety to otherwise boring generic nations, but it's overpriced and obviously rushed. Paradox should have waited at least a month longer to release it so they could have polished it more and somewhat justify charging $15 for it. And that's perfect because guess what? Paradox fucking has a $50 game. They say, okay, we're gonna come out with all these DLCs and shit. We're gonna charge them 15 to 20 bucks on release, and we have such a cuckold. They have such a strangle on my balls. I'm gonna buy it every time because guess what? I love playing Hearts of Iron 4. I love playing Paradox games. I love going for the achievements. But when they make it damn nearly impossible to play these nations and not want to kill it, like punch a hole through your wall because of how bad the Allies and Axis RNG cucks you over, it's so bad. And we haven't even started on British Raj yet either. This nation, I haven't even touched it yet because I'm scared. I've touched it a couple times. But you have different paths, which can be fun. You know, go elephant only. I saw that run. That was pretty fun. But there's just so much here. It's so overwhelming. You go the East Indies Company route, and then you're just like stuck there doing nothing the entire game, just buying shit with no industry. I don't like how they did the resistance thing. It sucks. It's just like, why is half my territory not even cored? If I go like a full independence route and lose Pakistan and these guys, that's fine. Like I could see those not being cores, but the princely states down here not being cores is crazy. Like these guys, yeah, like were they not technically a part of it? Yeah, they weren't, but guess what? They contributed millions of soldiers to World War II for the British Raj. You could have had it like as a modifier, like we have with like dam states or like dam states and stuff like that, or I think it's in Iraq. Let me see. Like the Mosul debuff with the Kurdish resistance. You could have put that in here in the south, and guess what? That would have been way better. Keep it cored, but have recruitable population, building speed, or any other debuffs you want to add in, and then keep Pakistan and Bangladesh like separate there. You know, like because those were distinctly different from the British Raj due to cultural and political divides. Oh my god, I've been talking for 10 minutes. But I think I covered a lot of it. I think I covered a lot of the things. The price, the unplayability of nations after 1940. It's literally, if you want to accomplish anything, it's a world conquest or bust, and you have to redo it every time. I've been going into the settings while on Iron Man mode, because I only play in Iron Man mode, because that's just how I roll. And I'm like, okay, I turn on ahistorical, but I'm like, okay, I have to keep like the freaking I have to keep the Soviets out of a civil war, or I have to put the Soviets in a civil war. I need the Allies to decolonize or do something so they don't guarantee Iraq, and Germany can do whatever Germany wants. But knowing if Germany goes historical, and you're on ahistorical, Czechoslovakia is going to decline to Sudetenland. So guess what? Czechoslovakia is going to join the Allies, and then the Allies are going to be a super mega faction. And then guess what? When you try to go to war with any of these nations, guess what? You're not fighting one major. You're fighting like the entire fucking world. And then Mexico is out here making like super allies when they go communist. It's just so bad. It's so bad trying to play these three nations. There's so much potential, but Paradox has to come back and refine it. But the main thing is like the zero infrastructure. It's like, okay, well, there's 250,000 people here, and there's 220,000 people here. Why can't I build anything in this state, which has more population than this state? You know, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. Like, can you explain that to me, Paradox? Why does this state have 0 building slots, but this one has 2? It makes no sense with a lesser population at all. Like, there's just so much unpolished. And if you go into the code of the game, I know someone else did. For nations that are supposed to have 0 infrastructure in certain spots, it is stated in the code that it's supposed to be 0. This one just didn't have that code in it at all. So I don't know what the heck they were doing, but yeah. And not to mention, why does British Raj start at this? Like, was it, I guess it was historical maybe, but it still makes no sense that they start with this piece of land when right away at the start of the game you get, hey, do you want to give it back to the British for 2 civs? It's like what? It's like, why even have it then if you're just like gonna have that option? Because like obviously you should take the option because the state has nothing. What, you want 80,000 people? Makes no sense. But yeah, that's just I'm feeling like Penguin Zero after this rant. But yeah, that's kind of it. So if you agree with anything, please let me know down below. I'm gonna try and do Iran conquest, make them back to Persia, but I've been going crazy trying to do it. Like, I've tried so many different strategies and it just hasn't worked. But we'll make it work eventually. So Paradox, just please stop cucking the consumers as you have been, because we love this game. We love to see what you guys are going to take it places. But the last couple DLCs have been really disappointing. I've been having fun in the last one, but this one, man, just do better. Do better, Paradox. See y'all.